everybody. We are back with Bird Brain Q&A. Today we're doing episode 3, all your questions about bird poop. Bring them on.
If this isn't our most exciting episode yet, like I don't know what is. I'm your co-host Pam Moore. You are,
I'm I'm Lauren Benedict, and I'm here as an ornithologist answering your questions about birds.
yeah, the only reason I'm here is to ask the questions. I'm just a middle-aged bird curious lady. If you haven't tuned into episodes 1 and 2, that's she's the expert. I don't even know what I am. I'm the question asker in chief.
You're the person with questions.
Yeah, I'm the person with questions. When I was a kid, my mom said I was nosy, but I'm like, I think I'm just naturally very curious, but I am nosy.
Well, that's good. That's great. We're going to be nosy into the lives of birds all day
Yeah.
long.
And we have been so lucky to get some great questions from our listeners. So why don't we just dive in with our first question from this one is from Kristen. I love this one. Why is bird poop white?
Yeah, that seems kind of weird, doesn't it, right? Our poop is not white. I mean, if it is, something's wrong,
Something
right?
is deeply wrong.
For birds, actually, what's going on there is that their poop is not white. You know how sometimes a bird poops on you and there's this like lumpy brown stuff and then white stuff all around it?
All too well, Lauren. All too well.
Yeah, we all know that, don't we? No, the lumpy brown stuff is the poop. The white is actually the equivalent of pee. They don't pee like we pee. They retain a lot of water in their bodies. They don't want to lose all that moisture, so they don't release as much liquid when they pee. Instead, they concentrate it into that white uric acid, and so the white chalky stuff is bird pee. And because birds only have one hole at the back end, they don't have separate exits for the poop and the pee. There's one hole, it all comes out together.
I'm speechless. You blew my mind. There's never been a better time to be bird curious than right now. Like, I just learned so much. I don't even know how to respond. My initial thought was, well, obviously it's white because they like to steal our marshmallows, they eat our bagels, they eat our clam strips, they eat crumbs. A lot of processed food is white. That maybe makes sense. But the whole time, let me just sum up. The white stuff isn't poop. The white stuff is pee. Their pee isn't just liquid like ours. Their pee is more solid. And so this whole time we thought they were pooping on us. They were in fact defecating and urinating on us.
They're not just pooping on you, they're pooping and they're peeing on you. That's right. Yes.
Would it be fair to say the bird is like the ultimate multitasker?
They are. Here's another fun fact. I'm going to blow your mind with this one. Eggs come out that same hole.
I actually knew that. I knew that. I should have added this to my bio. We have had backyard chickens. They do have one hole. So efficient.
Yeah, birds are really multitasking, right? It's called a cloaca, and it's the all-purpose hole. The poop, the pee, the eggs, it's all coming out of one place.
Amazing. All right. Is there more to say about that, or can I move on to our next question?
I think we can move on.
This one is from Elise. This is an excellent question that I think piggybacks really well on birds' capacity for multitasking. Elise asks, can birds poop in their sleep, Lauren?
Yeah, I'm going to give you some background on this question. Full disclosure here, Elise is my daughter, and there is a reason that she's asking this question. So if you watched our first episode, you know that we have chickens. We love our chickens. We've got 4 young chickens and 2 old ladies that at this point are 7 or 8. And one of those old ladies, Penny, doesn't climb so well. She can't really fly up to the roost. So when they roost at night in the coop, 5 of them are sitting up high and Penny's down below. And so Elise is a little concerned that Penny might be getting pooped on while they're all asleep above her. So that's the genesis of this question.
Okay, I love the backstory. I've just learned so much about your daughter in one question. She's got a good heart.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay.
Yeah. And so after she asked this question, dove into the literature to try and figure this out because in my mind, I thought, I don't think so. I mean, probably not most of the time. Maybe occasionally, if something is wrong, a bird will poop in its sleep, but I don't think so. I went deep into like the academic literature to see what I could find. There is no research available on this, as far as I can tell. There was a delightful paper from 1960 where somebody described how they spent hours and hours over the course of 3 successive nights watching emus fall asleep, waiting to
Wow.
see what they did. And apparently they woke up when they pooped and then they went back to sleep. So that's all I got. I got no
That's
answer.
all you got. Good news, there's even more questions. We are just scratching the surface. We have a question from Tara, and I love this question. Why are turkey vultures so gross? This is a two-part question. Why are they so gross? And do they really have to poop and pee on themselves? Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. As somebody who is like totally naive to the turkey vulture, Lauren, give us like an intro. What even is a turkey vulture? How do you know one when you see one? Is it common knowledge that they pee and poop themselves? Because Tara seems to know this. It's the first time hearing of it.
I mean, I guess among some people it is. Yeah, turkey vultures, vultures in general are birds that are, they're essentially birds of prey, but they feed on dead things. They eat carrion. And around the US, we have turkey vultures everywhere. We have black vultures in a lot of the United States, and they're actually super common birds. So you probably have turkey vultures around your space wherever you live in the United States. And they actually are really important because they clean up all the roadkill. Think about what would happen if we didn't have birds or maggots out there eating all of the dead things, right? The dead
That's
stuff.
who's doing it, the turkey vulture?
Yeah, they're part of it.
So they're kind of like the cleanup crew of nature.
Yes,
Okay, and so is it true, backing up, the question was, do they really have to poop and pee on themselves? So they do? Do they habitually do this?
they do. That's true. Yes. They spend a lot of time, walking around and pulling apart dead things. They stick their heads into those dead carcasses that they're eating. And as they're doing that, they're getting exposed to a lot of gross stuff. They eat that gross stuff. They then poop all the gross stuff out. And what seems really, really weird is that they will poop and pee on their legs on purpose. Now, there are a couple of explanations for this. This seems like it's just terrible and gross, and there's no way to explain it that makes sense, but there actually are some ways to explain it that make sense. First of all, pooping and peeing on your own legs is maybe a way to cool off. So, not just vultures do that, but maybe some other birds like storks also will do that to cool off. But then the one that I think is really cool about this is that actually people have shown that in some vultures, their poop and pee has antimicrobial properties. So basically, it can kill all of the bacteria and the little gross pathogens that they are accumulating on their legs when they walk in the dead stuff. It's actually helping them to be healthier.
So it's nature's PPE.
Yeah.
I'm just, again, my mind is blown because it's so counterintuitive that your poop would be antimicrobial.
Yeah. I always like to imagine the people doing this research too, right? Like you're out there, you're swabbing those cloacas, you're collecting the bird poop, and then you take it back to the lab very carefully, this smelly, gross vulture poop, and you're plating it on your bacterial plates to see if it stops the bacteria from growing. What a research job, right?
Yeah, they are doing God's work.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, this is another question. I like this is a we God, I just want to say our audience is amazing. So creative, so curious. This question is from Emily. This is a heart-centered question, I would say. How do birds feel when they poop on you?
Yeah, I imagine it depends on the individual bird. Sometimes they probably don't even realize that they pooped on you. But I think I will say with certainty that for some of them, they feel great.
Do you think it's actually an act? Are they capable of feeling aggression or feeling like they're aware that this could be offensive?
Oh, yes. I worked for several summers in a colony of common terns off the coast of Maine on islands. And these are seabirds. They're beautiful. They're like gulls, but more delicate and beautiful. And they nest in these big colonies where you'll have hundreds of birds nesting just on the ground. And the way that they defend all of those nests, if a predator comes near, like, say, a human walking through to check on the nest health and see how many birds are nesting there, the way that they defend that is by attacking and actually hitting the predator with their sharp bills and pooping on them. And they have incredible aim. Like they absolutely would aim at us. So before we went
Wow.
out there into the tern colony, everybody would put on what they call a shit shirt because it was covered in shit by the time you were done with your season, and your shit hat. and you would walk out there and just sort of like duck and cover, and those birds would poop right at you, projectile. I mean, they could aim. They would get it in ears. They would get it down your collar. It was amazing.
Wow. I don't think people really appreciate what it takes to be an ornithologist.
Yeah, if you're out there doing field work, you will get shit on. You will probably get pecked. You will get bitten. Yeah, but honestly, those of us who choose to do it, it's because we love it. I don't mind a little bird poop now and then. I just don't want it in my ears.
Um, Now for a fun new segment. We have a special guest today, which for me and Lauren, she's a regular part of the show. For viewers, she may be new. This is our producer, Jill Dugan.
Hello.
And Jill joins us with a book. Jill, what's your book?
Some friends of mine, when I was working at an advertising agency, there's a writer and an illustrator who did a book called Someday a Bird Will Poop on You. And it definitely resonated with today's episode. So I highly recommend it. It ultimately has a very positive message, and my kids loved it growing up. So thank you to Sue and Megan for this awesome book.
Can you give us a couple of like nuggets from the book? Like,
Sure. This book does talk about birds aiming and, sort of being intentional about it, and how it'll kind of happen on a day when you're dressed up for a job interview. It will inevitably happen at a time when you're not expecting it. And it will talk about how you can react. You can be very angry and be very frustrated and let it ruin your day, or you can laugh and wash it off and think, oh, okay, well, maybe a bird will not poop on me again for a while. And then there's a couple birds at the end one is a little traumatized because he has not pooped on anyone in a while. And the other bird is comforting him and encouraging him. It'll happen. Just keep trying. You'll hit somebody eventually.
Thanks, Jill.
I feel like there's so many life lessons in that book.
So I'm going to ask Pam, have you been pooped on by a bird?
Not yet. There's still time. But I went to the beach with my little sister and we got there. We set out our blanket. She's got like the tanning oil on. She's all ready to get even more beautiful. And a bird pooped directly on her head. And she was really upset. That's like a core memory for me. We don't remember everything about our childhoods, but that is one thing that really for me stands out because she was so upset and I thought it was so funny.
That's right. I mean, you just gotta laugh, right? You gotta laugh at it and move on, and that's why.
Especially if it happens to someone else.
Yeah.
Okay, well, everyone, thank you for joining us once again. Please be sure, if you enjoy this, to like it, to subscribe, join our flock. Send us an email if you have a question you want us to cover in a future episode.
Our email address is birdbrainqa@gmail.com, and we look forward to hearing you. We are really hoping to get lots of wild and wacky questions.